truth is that there's a mystery behind Igbo that the whole world is covering. Do you guys know about this Igbo ancient history? The Chronicle of Nsibidi.
No.
Have you guys ever said about it? Do you know that? Do you know that Igbo people have their own writing? Just the way Chinese has their writing, we have our own writing. It's called Nsibidi.
Are you serious? Look at it. Like Chinese language. Okay.
You know.
It is originated from Igbo.
Wow.
You know why this handwriting declined? Nsibidi reduced in use because of colonial rules. Oyibo came and dismantled it.
That I stand before you as a President General of Igbo worldwide.
So it's good to always bring out this kind of knowledge so that the whole world and we that are Igbos from the southeastern part of Nigeria, we will also know that such thing exists, because knowledge is power, and neglecting these things doesn't tell good of our people. And when histories are being neglected, at a certain point, you see that the connection, people will start losing the connection that they are supposed to have at every point in time. So, this Nsibidi is a kind of language, is a kind of language just like Chinese language is written. It's a written symbolic language of the southeastern Nigerians. They have their own writing. Apart from this one that we have, this ABCD that we have, originally there is a way of communication. We have our own writings originally. But it's not only peculiar to Igbos alone, it's peculiar to the southeastern part of Nigeria, particular area. So, but, you know, just listening to this in full, then we'll come back, we'll continue, and I will tell you some things that I found out concerning this handwriting that was, covered and allowed to die down because of colonialism. You know, Oyibos, once they came, anything that will give them headache or anything that doesn't, tailored, they want everything to tailor with their own, ancestral understanding. That's why I felt this current ABCD, it has similar, the vowels and whatever they have is similar to the English, alphabets. So, but originally, we have our own that doesn't resemble anybody's handwriting, whether Chinese or Japanese or English or German, or it has its own standard. Well, listen.
The truth is that there's a mystery behind Igbo that the whole world is covering. Do you guys know about this Igbo ancient history? The Chronicle of Nsibidi.
No.
Have you guys ever said about it? Do you know that? Do you know that Igbo people have their own writing? Just the way Chinese has their writing, we have our own writing. It's called Nsibidi. When I saw this thing on YouTube, I was scared. The truth is that there's a mystery behind Igbo that the whole world is covering. Imagine when Igbo people have their own writing. It's called Nsibidi. Google it. Google it. You're on your phone now. Google it.
I read an article. They said Igbos are the first human, and
they are, and they are trying to subdue us under
first civilized.
Exactly, the first civilized humans.
Yes.
Google it.
The first human.
Are you serious? Look at it. Like Chinese language. Okay.
You know.
It is originated from Igbo.
Wow.
But if
Why is it drawing?
No, if you can reflect,
yeah.
While we are growing, there are these calendars in some people's home.
Exactly.
I saw
because
that.
I remember
familiar
clearly
with this.
then. Yes.
I'm familiar with this.
Exactly.
This.
Our culture is actually shifting. There's so many things
Shifted.
that I don't even
No,
know.
there are so many things. So there are a lot.
It shifted quite a very long time.
Quite lot. I think we have our own writing.
Now, having listened to that, this particular system is not only about Igbos. Other Southeasterners also use it, like Ibibio. So let's listen and get the full gist, because I don't like to give half information. I try as much as possible to expand it and get more knowledge about it. Now, Nsibidi, also written Nsibidi, is an ancient system of symbols and communications used in part of southeastern Nigeria, especially among the Igbos, Ibibios, Efik, Ejaram. That is the way they put it, Ejaram people. It's one of the African's oldest known forms of writing. It's an African form of writing, oldest form of writing. What Nsibidi really is, Nsibidi is not just an alphabet like English, or is more than that. It's a symbolic writing system. Each sign can represent an idea, a message, a warning, a relationship, love, conflict, authority, etc. Okay? Now, think of it more like a mix of writing and a secret code and also arts, something like that. Where it came from, Nsibidi is believed to have originated from Ejaham's people. This information is the most closest to reality, though it's still somebody that uploaded it, in present-day Cross River region, and later spread across neighboring groups. It dated back to hundreds of years, possibly over 500, 1,000 years old. Then the secret versus public Nsibidi. There is one they use in secret. Nobody understands that. Then there are public one. Then there are two main types. Public Nsibidi, used in everyday life, seen on walls, clothes, body arts, and objects easily to understand. Then secret Nsibidi, used by secret societies like society, highly coded and restricted, only initiated by members understands it. Then what Nsibidi was used for, sending messages without speaking, recording laws, judgment and decisions, expressing love, marriage or conflict, marking authorities and power, decorating art, textile and rituals. So once you see anyone, you know that this is like this. Once you see the other one, you know that it is like that. So that is Nsibidi for you. Then examples of meaning. A simple Nsibidi symbol could mean love or relationship, judgment or court case, and the rest of them. Then what most people don't understand about this Nsibidi, I just heard it recently. I know that many people have not seen it, have not heard it, that the ancient Southeasterners have their own handwriting just like the Chinese. Why it declined? Listen, why this handwriting declined. Nsibidi reduced in use because of colonial rules. Oyibo came and dismantled it directly or indirectly. Introduction of Western education. Oyibo have to use their own system to teach, and education and writing, English alphabet. Decline of traditional secret, society and the rest. So it's like people are trying to bring it out. People somehow are trying to bring it out to come back, but I don't know how possible it is. So that is it about that language. And you see, we have to be very careful in handling our history, because we don't just keep quiet and fold our hands. If the people before us, if they have done much about our history, by now we wouldn't have any form of issues, with histories and traces, especially those in other areas of Igbo-speaking areas in other states, Rivers, Benue, Kogi. They shouldn't have such problem if, there is strong traces and the teaching of histories. Though social media now is becoming more popular, that's why I'm using my platform to let people know about some of these things that they need to know. So somebody was saying that if the present day Imo State people were like the Rivers, that they will also deny their origin. That's what happened to Rivers people presently will also happen to them. Well, I don't know what you think, but let's listen.
I want to let you know something. If the Igbos of Imo State were the ones living here in River State and was demarcated, separated by the government by way of balkanization away from the Southeast, do you know that they would have denied they are not Igbo? Do you also know that if the people of Ebonyi State were the ones living here in River State, do you know that they wouldn't have been calling themselves Igbo? I mean, they're boys. Do you know that the Sokas and the rest of them, if they had separated them the way they did to us here as Ikwere people, I'm an Ikwere man. We are Oba people. We have the Ekmeye, we have Oba Ekmeye, we have Ndoni, Ndoki, Ebema, we have Eche, we have Asa, we have Opobo, and all these Igbo extractions within River State. If you were the one right there in Southeast, some of the extractions in Southeast, if they were the ones here in River State, they would have done exactly the same thing the Kwere man and the Oba man, the Ebema man is doing today. Because even now, as I speak to you, the case is not different from some of them, especially from the Ohafia areas. There are some Ohafia people who believes that they are more linked to even Akwa Ibom, to even the Ibibios and the Efik. Today, even online, you see some of them come up to say some of those falsehoods because they are not well rooted in history. They are not taught. Nobody to teach them who they are. So it's a big problem in Igbo land. Now, we are about losing many of our extractions in Igbo if we don't sit up. We are about to lose many of our extractions. You may come up to say, it doesn't concern me, Oga. The reason why it doesn't concern you is because perhaps you don't really see us as your brother. If it does concern you, you will not be saying, leave them now. If they want to go, let them go now. You cannot live alone in Nigeria. You alone cannot survive in Nigeria. So for you to be opening your mouth to say, anybody who wants to leave now, let him leave. Anybody who says it's not Igbo, let's leave them and let's go. Okay? You have no blood, you have no brotherly blood running in your vein. This is why you say this kind of thing. Because if you had the brotherly blood running in your vein, the same brotherly blood that brought me from Bayelsa State to begin to sensitize my people over our Igbo-ness, then you won't be saying what you're saying. Someone whose brother is claiming he's no longer from the same family with him, it will not go well with you. Each time you see the person, you'll be pained. Because at this point now, the person is going about denigrating you, telling everyone that your father is not his father. You will not sit well with such kind of information. It will not go down well with you. And now the funny part of it is that most of us online, we just claim it doesn't concern us. But then, the same you who said it, once somebody opens his mouth to say, we are not Igbo. Oba man is saying he's not an Igbo man. Ekpe man is saying it's not. The moment you see those kind of statements online, now you the first rush to go those places. In fact, you even follow them. You follow those kind of people who say they are not Igbo. You're seeing them physically speaking Igbo. You're seeing their culture, that they practice the Igbo culture. You see everything about them. The affinity is so pure. The connection is just too clear between ourselves here, the Ikweres, our Obas, Ekpenyes, and the rest of them, and the Southeasterners. The connection is too much. It's too glaring for everybody to see. What is my name, Chimedoma? The name is not just the reason for identity. Anybody can decide to answer any name, but when your culture is having resemblance, when your culture and my culture is the same thing, it means that we have great affinity. Your farming method and my own farming method is the same. That means we are brothers, we have connection. When a situation where the way you eat, the way you marry, your tradition, everything about you is almost the same thing as mine, that means you're my brother. That means you're my blood. So there is no way I should be telling my blood to leave them now, leave them now. It means that you're hiding something. It means that you are not saying the truth to yourself. And meaning that you don't know what it takes to be a brother. And this is why most times when people, the Southeasterners, especially in the Southeast, they come to kill our brothers in Southeast, soldiers come kill our brothers and kill thousands of them. It doesn't touch us. We go back to our businesses as though nothing happened. Somebody will come and kill our people. The way we talked about Asari said he came to kill. We go back to our houses as though nothing happened. This is because you don't see the person as your blood. And it is an aberration for you to be thinking that way and be behaving that way as an Igbo man. How can you look at your person, your brother, your relative, your fellow community, a community close to you is under ravage, is being ravaged by another people, they are killing those people, and you just go back to your business as though nothing is happening, as though it doesn't concern you. It means that you don't know what it takes to be blood. So for some of you who open your mouth to say, if Ikwere people, other people, people wants to live and they don't want to be Igbo, let's leave them now. Let them choose wherever they belong. Oh God, you know nothing about yourself. You know nothing about your existence. You even know nothing about where you're going to. So you're just clustered, your reasoning is just about yourself. Your reason is about how you make your money, and let's live our life after all. Igbo Southeast is prospering, we are doing well, and leave them in spite of all the denial. Are we not moving forward? You don't survive that way, one name. You don't survive that way. They said, Igwe. Once you don't have it, you cannot survive in a system, in a nation like Nigeria. You will cry from now till thy kingdom come, nothing don't happen. All those talks, nothing will happen. It is time for us to unite, and you're saying, leave them. And we, indigenous Igbos of River State, deemed it fit. We championed it and began to, sensitize our people. Under the umbrella body of the IIC, Indigenous Igbo Congress. And we are championing it, trying to bring these indigenous Igbos of River State together. And then all you have to say is, if they don't want to be Igbo, let them leave it now. If they don't want to be, let's leave them now. Who is forcing them? Those kind of statements is demoralizing. Of course, you're not forcing me. Did you call me to this movement? You didn't call me. Were you the one that said, come from Bayelsa State where I was and said, let's go on with this movement here in Bayelsa State? You're not the one. I choose to do it from what I have seen and how I feel the next generation is going to look like. What this denial is going to cost my people. This is the reason why I choose to do this. Not because of you. If it were only to be you, self, I would not. Because my people have to identify with their root, their original root, which is the ancestry of the Igbo. Those who come up to say, tell us where Igbo come from. Okay, you tell me where you come from. Because as long as I'm concerned, as long as the history is concerned, all of you have your branches from the great Igbo nation, the ancient Igbo nation. All of us, including those in Benin, in Edo State. Apart from those who came from the Oramio dynasty, who came to invade the land, which is the Yoruba people. The rest people within their doors and all these places, they all have their link to the Igbo nation. Go and study your history. So if you have an Igbo man who is coming up and making this kind of statement, demoralizing statement on those who are putting so much effort to see that the Igbo nation stands and recover back from what the system never wants it to be, then you should re-examine yourself. Re-examine yourself. Ask those kind of people questions. Are you truly an Igbo man? Are you an Igbo man that you're seeing your brother having issues, identity crisis? I say, because he's denying that, because I have made an example here. If an Ebonyi man was in the situation of the Ikwere man or Oma man or Ekpere man, they would have still denied they are not Igbo. If the Imo State, within Imo State or Abia State, if they were in this situation, they would have still denied they are not Igbo. So now what happens to, why am I saying this? For instance, what happens to Indoke? Indoke in Abia State, some part of Indoke in Abia State is still claiming that they are not Igbo and that they are from Ibjo. People who speak Igbo, practice the Igbo culture, everything about, even if you're not from Igbo, the fact that everything about you has to do with Igbo. You become an Igbo man because of proximity and because of language, because of culture, because of the food you eat, everything. It means that you have been assimilated. You have been deceived by the people who kept you there, who welcomed you and gave you land. So automatically you become an Igbo. But these guys have the audacity to claim they are not Igbo. And they go about to talk about, we are doing IYC, IYC. This is an aberration in Igbo land. And nobody is talking about it. Nobody is saying anything. Everybody, I don't care, I don't care. Everybody is going about his business. When are we going to change from this our individualism? This is our individualism, individualistic character. It is a bad character. Bad one. I'm talking to Igbo nation.
Ya tokwa gọọmenti edobe anya na akwụfa kelụ Nnamdi Kanu ọkwa ndị Igbo ka fakere. O nwere onye Igbo obi dị mma na Nnamdi Kanu nọ na nga. Onye Igbo na-eje raụndụ na-edisi Igbo ndị gọọmenti na ọ ya eme nka, ọ ya eme nke ọzọ, and fire welu ndị Igbo ya eme nka. Don't deceive the government. Their powers. Nothing big to you. On behalf of the and them on my name, I now government president to release Nnamdi Kanu. I have the minimum demand of the to remind you that there is a parliamentary process to deliver an additional state. It is a welcome development. Of a government, the million people to about the rest of the matter. Nigerian government in Igbo, one more state. As we convene today, at this monumental Imo Regional Assembly, and this deep humility and great honor, that I stand before you as the President General of Igbo worldwide. This gathering is not just a meeting, it is a testament to our resilience, our unity, and our commitment to the advancement of Today we stand at the pivotal moment in our history, a moment that calls for inspection and action. On our journey, must be organized. Challenges are faced over the years, more resilient. Being from the past and lessons learned, guiding us towards let us remind our collective goal, let us remind ourselves of it. Emancipation and empowerment all over. All set aside any defensive and any lives, whether they be political, real or extraordinary, whether they are economic, whether they are social, and unite under the banner of progress and prosperity of our people. Our strength lies in our ability to forge a common purpose and we uplift one another in our shared aspirations. This gathering will address present issues: economic development, the cultural preservation, help chart the course of our collective truth. Let us prioritize actionable plans that drive growth in our communities, like to innovate and invest in our youth. They are the touch carriers of our culture and traditions, ensuring that they inherit not just a legacy, but a thriving and my brothers and sisters in the diaspora, I extend my heartfelt appreciation for your unwavering support. You are the ambassadors of our heritage all over the world. And I urge you to continue to promote peace and goodwill and be law-abiding in your post. Several parts of the world. On them, stereotyping about the world. And at the same time, we're asking how people law-abiding, sensibility of their host community, wherever they find themselves. The diaspora for your representation matters. Let your action reflect your values. Hold here in plan. It's wrong for people to go to other people's lives. If, as if there are no core values that are
So having listened to that, I will also tell you that you see Southeast now is very peaceful, very, very peaceful. And they are now, the government of Nigeria have sent military to the Southeast. Very soon now, the issue will start again. People will start doing some kind of things. You start hearing, attacks and the rest of them. Everywhere was peaceful. They don't like it. They have now sent troops to come here in the Southeast to start something again. And small time now, we start hearing issues in the Southeast. I beg, may they leave Southeast to rest, though. Southeast has been resting. People always say this thing that it is the action of the military that always bring, issues in the Southeast. That's what people always, cited as cases of what is happening in the Southeast. Well, we can also hear this.
Because the recent claim now by the Nigerian army that they went to their kidnapped den or whatever and fetched arms and all that and recovered 2 million naira, and that it is IPOB, directly IPOB, that was involved. I mean, this thing is too childish now. Even little children say, I don't feel lie like this now. This can't lie too much now. Is it not now obvious that you guys are playing with Nigerians? You guys are playing with Igbo. Now, you want to use this IPOB theory to justify the killings that you have perpetrated in Southeast for over the years. Now, it is like you don't want to let go again. That as long as we have started, let us start and complete what we have started doing. What is it with you and IPOB? What is it with you people and Igbo? What offense did they commit in Igbo? What did they do to you people, Nigerian army? You said they should come to join your army. They refused. They said they will not. Because your attitude is the reason why people refuse. Even Akwa Ibom State and the rest of people have seen that they can no longer join your army. This is terrible of you now. What have they got to do? What do you have with Igbo? Because now every little thing, two fighting take place for Southeast, if you say IPOB. Two husband and wife fight, self, one kill each other. You say the IPOB. So Nigerian army does not have any other means of communication that they will have to be misyanning in this method. Tomorrow they will come say disclaimer that people who are spreading this information, they are misleading and that they are IPOB. You don't have anything in Southeast again except IPOB, Nigerian army. Where is the IPOB in Southeast? I mean, this is becoming misleading. It looks like you want to use every justification. You want to use something as a justification to kill the Igbo, to kill Igbo youths. And this must be called. We need to call you people out, for God's sake. What do you people think can be now? So every now and then I'm going to call IPOB for every little thing. So everywhere we will not say we there on the other side. We know say these people now lie that they talk. Now as media go come carry on without even finding out. All the media then go to carry on. All na Yoruba media, all na Hausa media, they go just carry out. Once a Nigerian army don't come lie this kind of big lie, everybody don't carry out. Make on they lie small. Stop lying with impunity. Stop lying with impunity. If truly you want us to be one nation, some of us have refused to accept the theory of Biafra. But we know why we are doing that. It's not as if we are not suffering, we are not having it hot here in Nigeria. We are all having it hot. There is nobody that will suffer what Igbo is presently facing that will not want to say, let's separate this country. The way you people are marginalizing and the way you people are segregating the Igbo. If you were in their shoes, you will also call for separation of Nigeria. Make an stop to the July say on too much. Because if now Yoruba people are in the shoes of Igbo, on go don't cry from that to tomorrow. Call the whole world. Enough of these lies you parade spread around in Southeast. Everything IPOB. So we don't come they realize it. They like saying a lie. These people they lie to us all this while. You first came up with unknown government. Unknown government. Who brought about this theory of unknown government? It was Nigeria. It was the media and the Nigerian military. Unknown government did not come from IPOB. It started with unknown government. When they now saw that they don't know how to link them up with, they now came up and started adding IPOB to it. You can't even link these things. Unknown government, who brought that name, unknown government? Unknown government. For Nigeria, who brought the name? I bet make and stop these things. It's becoming childish. Every now and then, Southeast. Every now and then, Igbo. Every now and then, IPOB. And you have forgot to know that this IPOB you're talking about is in the blood of an average Igbo man. Every Igbo man you see from up to toe, forget these mumu ones and where they inside politics, where they suzu with honor. Every average Igbo man you see in Nigeria, they are blooded IPOB member. They are blooded. They get see the thing that they are blood. Forget say you see them, they parade them, they go ahead with their businesses. They are all IPOB members. So who do you want to tag terrorists now? Who do you want to tag terrorists? You want to tag the entire race a terrorist people? You are just deceiving yourself. Every now and then, IPOB. You know what Moku rest again? Everything IPOB. Small pikin steal another person's shoe for Southeast saying IPOB. Now you have been disgraced by the same Harrison. Harrison don't disgrace on our. The same information you dished out to deceive Nigerians that it was IPOB that kidnapped people, and you went on to recover 2 million naira from them. Now it has been now look at it. Harrison don't come disclaim say there was no such thing as IPOB and that they never saw IPOB. It was a mere kidnapping situation. But now don't they change the narrative now? Carry on, they go IPOB again. Abba. Make an try repent now. Why are you people like this? It's everything has to do with propaganda and trying to change the narrative. You want the world to always know that there is a problem in Southeast as a justification to kill Igbo. The way the thing just be like say they pin on us, say the ravaging of terrorists in the north. It's paining you people that it is not actually in Southeast. Because I believe that if it was in Southeast, and I for all rest with this IPOB issue, and I for not even worry on ourselves with IPOB again. Nobody for mention IPOB again. But because the thing where they go on now for Nigeria and for North, they go on, the thing they pain the Nigerian military. That is why they want to tag the IPOB. Every now and then, IPOB. It is too childish, okay? It's too childish. It's becoming childish. I'm a Nigerian. I'm calling you people out to tell you that this thing is becoming too childish.
All right, viewers, we cannot stop bringing to you what is happening. It is our joy and it's our responsibility to give you guys the update. Sorry, it's becoming dark, but I had to finish up with this video. All right, viewers, I thank you for watching. Please, I know you must have learned one or two things concerning this video. Please share it and let us know your thoughts concerning what you have watched. Don't forget to click on the like button and let us hear what you think about this video. Until I come your way next time, I say bye.